Hi there, my name is Belinda Weaver. I'm a copywriter. My business is Copyright Matters, and today I want to talk to you about imposter syndrome, that gut-wrenching, altogether sweaty feeling of not being as good as everyone else in the room, even if it's a virtual online room. When you have imposter syndrome, more often than not, you feel like a fraud. You feel like you're going to get found out at any minute for being rather incompetent instead of being the success that you are portraying. In actual fact, the thing about imposter syndrome is that you are successful, you're kicking the goals, and yet your internal monologue tells you that you're not. Appearances to everyone else says that you are killing it, yet you tell yourself that you are not. That is what imposter syndrome is. Now, I've got my little blog open here because the name imposter syndrome was first coined by two American psychologists. I've got their name here, Pauline Clance and Suzanne Inges, in 1978. And since then, loads and loads of people profess to have imposter syndrome. Famous celebrities, academics, lots of people in your industry. So if you're feeling like you're a fraud and you're going to get caught out at any minute, you are not alone. But of course, there is a double-edged sword to imposter syndrome, because while it's a bit of negative self-talk in your own ear, which isn't very good for your own self-esteem, it also actually drives you on to be better. It's what keeps you working harder, always learning, always striving. You are not complacent because you're always trying to be better. And you know what? That's a good thing. So in my blog post this week on copywritematters.com, my blog is called The Copy Detective, and I shared some tips that in my experience can help you slay imposter syndrome and own your success. And the first one, of course, is to give yourself some credit. Whenever I'm feeling a bit blue, or I'm feeling like everyone else is doing a lot better at life, at business, at copywriting than me, I remember where I've come from, not like the hood. I remember sitting at my day job desk in a job that I didn't particularly like, dreaming of other options, thinking there must be another way that I can have a career that is fulfilling, for God's sake. And I came across copywriting. I didn't even know it was a thing. I didn't even know freelance copywriting was a thing. And once I found out, I put my mind and my energy towards making it happen. Little by little, I made it happen. And now I'm one of those people that you might be looking at. I got YouTube videos and slide shares, and I'm giving off talks and interviews, and I've got a course. And well, I'm exactly the kind of person that I used to compare myself to and think, I am never going to get there. But you know what? I have. It's taken years. It's taken years of hard work, but I got here. And so then that leads me to the next point. Just to recap, give yourself some credit for the successes you have already had and the milestones that you have achieved. Maybe you actually want to write them down and put them on a pinboard so you can see them. But the next one is to stop comparing yourself to other people. I used to do this a lot. Look at other copywriters in the industry and think, I'm never going to be that smart. I'm never going to be that successful. I'm never going to be that good a writer. I'm never going to have YouTube videos. Like, a YouTube video is the paramount of success. But, like, they're killing it on social media and they've got all these things. But you chip away at what you're doing and you run your own race and concentrate on being the best copywriter or business person or you can be, then you will get there too. But the key here is to not judge your success by someone else's success. You're just getting started, or I'm halfway through, cannot be compared to someone else's, I've been doing this for 10 years. And the other flip side of that is how we present ourselves on social media is the total PR version of our lives. So you never know what people are having to do behind the scenes, whether what they're doing is actually working anyway. So first one, give yourself some credit. You're doing better than you're giving yourself credit for. And stop comparing yourself to other people. Run your own race. Focus on doing what you're doing to the best of your ability. The next point I have here is to be realistic without sacrificing your ambitions, of course. But what I used to do is I used to load up my to-do list with every single thing that I had to do, like forever. And I would work like a demon all day, and I would get to the end of the day and I would check in with my to-do list after ticking things off all day. And there was still heaps on there. And I would think, wow, what have I been doing all day? I've been working very hard, of course. But the problem was I was not being realistic about what I could actually achieve in a day, in an hour before lunch. So I urge you to be realistic about what you can achieve. And that also links back to not comparing yourself with other people, because don't beat yourself up about not achieving something that actually might be a bit of a pipe dream for what you have available right now. If you want to achieve something that you can't achieve right now, write down what you need to do to get it done. Do you need to learn something? Do you need to get some help? But first, manage your to-do list in a way that is absolutely realistic, and you will not finish every day feeling like a failure. The last tip I shared in my blog post was being kind to yourself. Now, if you've talked to me in real life, anyone who kind of knows me will have heard me say, no negative self-talk. No negative self-talk in this house. And that's because years ago, I used to have a very toxic inner monologue. I was not very kind to myself. And I think a lot of us do this. We run ourselves down. It's what we do with imposter syndrome. Everyone else thinks we're killing it, but we tell ourselves we're not. That's the seed. But if we keep telling ourselves we're not doing it, then all we're doing is running ourselves down. We don't talk to other people like that, and we don't let other people talk to us like that. So why do we talk to ourselves like that? You know, when you've written down the milestones you've achieved and the successes you had, put it on a pinboard. And when you notice yourself having an internal negative talk with yourself, stop it. Consciously and mindfully stop that dialogue. Look at your list of successes and remind yourself that you have actually done quite a lot. And then just move on. Take a breath, move on. The more you stop your inner negative dialogue happening, the less it will happen. Don't feed the trolls, sometimes even if that troll is you. The last tip I actually just linked to in the blog was power poses, because there's actually a lot of science behind the idea that standing in a confident pose can build up your feelings of confidence. And I linked to a blog post by James Clear. Very, very interesting stuff. And you might be like, that's a bit of woo-woo bullshit, Belinda. But you know what? Science says it works, so it does. So when you find yourself with a bit of negative self-talk, stop it, look at your success list, stand like a superhero, move on with your day. And, you know, little by little, you will align your view of yourself with the view that everyone else has. And that is that you are killing it bit by bit. So just to recap on my tips here, give yourself some credit. Write out the success list. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Be inspired by people around you, but don't let that turn into envy and running yourself down. Be realistic about what you can do in 10 minutes, in an hour, in a day, because that will help you feel like a legend when you get it done. And of course, be kind to yourself. No negative self-talk. So those are the tips that I personally have implemented to beat my own imposter syndrome. You know what? There's always a bigger pond. There's always bigger fish. You just have to make sure you are running your own race, being the best business owner, copywriter, human being that you can possibly be. And it doesn't matter what everyone else is doing. So if you want to read the wordies attached with these ideas, head to copywritematters.com/blog. It is called How to Slay Imposter Syndrome and Own Your Own Success. And I will include a link here as well. And I want to leave you finally with this quote I saw after publishing this blog by Carrie Fisher. I've got it right here. Stay afraid, but do it anyway. What's important is the action. You don't have to wait to be confident. Just do it, and eventually the confidence would follow. Carrie Fisher, what a legend. And that pretty much sums up everything you need to know. So Stay awesome. We'll see you here again.